Beep, beep.
All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Dan
Hello.
from After Hours Review.
Hello.
We're here with Jules
Hello.
Walcott. Welcome. Thank you
Hello.
for coming on with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, tell us. Most people don't know who you are, so we want to start by you telling us. Really, tell us about you. Who are you? For most of our viewers
We
that
have no
don't
idea
know.
who this person is, and we just invited them to their stream. No idea.
So I'll just go through like the basics. So obviously my name is Jules. I'm 20 years old. I'm a dark pop vocalist from Long Island. Just dropped a couple new singles. Just got back from tour. And yeah, that's about the basics.
Oh yes.
Cool stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's see. So, what obviously you said a dark pop musician. What can you explain? How can you explain dark pop? Because when people think of dark,
Yeah, I was
find
gonna
people
ask
think
that,
of heavier. Which is that what you would consider it?
I wouldn't necessarily consider it heavier. I would say it's like pop music with that edgy twist to it. It's not necessarily like totally like you know what I mean, like that whole like it's not like metal, but it's definitely got like more of a rough sound to it. And it's not that like bubblegum pop sound. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's like that kind of like dark, creepy Billie Eilish vibe. She kind of like started that genre.
Cool. Very cool. I think that that's something that's missing so much in music, and I think that's why she is doing so well, because it's something that's really lacking in such a saturated market. I think you're hitting something that isn't really being touched upon much right now. So you have I feel like you have a unique advantage.
Thanks. Yeah, I've always just tried to stay genuine and being me. I always just like kind of do my own thing, and I feel like that's the category that my music fell into the most, and I kind of just stuck with it and kept going with it.
Cool. So tell us, you recently signed to Live Mic Records.
Yes,
so
yeah.
Tell us about the reason behind the move. What inspired you to jump on?
So I'll start from the beginning. Back in 2018, I was signed to another label. They were called Squirrel Entertainment. They're from Miami. They're specifically like a reggae label, but they were kind of experimenting with pop music. And when I was signed to them, they really tried to change my style and, like I said, do that bubblegum pop sound for me, and it just wasn't working out. Their image of what they wanted me to be wasn't the image that I wanted for myself, because I thought I could do more with what was authentic and what was real. So I ended up not working with them anymore, and I was kind of like on my own, being independent again. I really didn't know what I was doing. But I had actually contacted Mike. It was about last year. It was when he was running StatFest, and he had stuff to do with that. And I had reached out to him, and I was like, I love what you're doing with this festival. I would love to be a part of it. If you have like anything available for it. And at the time, I didn't even know who he was. I like DM'd like the StatFest Instagram, and I was like, I'll send you like my EPK and all that music business stuff. And then he actually reached out to me after that. He was like, I don't have anything for StatFest, but I really like what you're doing. Let's keep in contact. And I was like, okay, cool. So he actually reached out to me when I was on tour with High School Nation a few months later. And that was a really awesome experience. I toured with them for 2 weeks, and basically they throw music festivals at high schools. And so he came to the one show that was in Hempstead, New York. It was at a high school out there, and he brought like 2 other people with him. And I remember that day he was like set and being like, I have a label that I'm starting up, and I really, really want to work with you. And I was like, okay, like we'll see, like whatever. I don't know what this guy is. I don't know if he's like serious or just talking.
Right.
But then he ended up contacting me a couple months later, and everything that he was offering sounded really great. I liked that he was Long Island based and not like all over, the the world with artists here and there. Like I like that in person kind of thing. It sucks because we're in quarantine right now, so it's almost like we're across the world. But I like it being in person, knowing that like if I needed to have a meeting with him like the day of, I could just be like, I'm meet me here, like let's have a meeting. And I like the whole team and the energy that he brings. I just feel like the whole company itself is really motivated and really just loves music, and I like that aspect of it, that it's not, they don't look at me as like an object to make money. They look at me as like an artist with goals and has a mind of their own. And so I just like that whole thing, and he lets me be as creative as I want with my music, so that works.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with that.
Hey, I'm curious. So you started it by saying that you had heard of Statfest. I'm just curious. How did you hear of Statfest? So you said you DM'd him. Was it just like through social media?
Shameless plug.
It was literally through social media. And I was just going through like probably, I don't even know, geotags, tags, or whatever, and I just found it somehow. I was like, oh, this looks dope, and I sent them a DM.
Yeah, that's like really exciting to know, because we tried really hard with the social media for that last year and this year, and that's exciting to know that you just found it straight up through social media.
You guys did a great job, because I found you guys.
That's awesome. Actually, I wouldn't even ask that. My friend just texted me. Did she just find it only through Instagram? So people are curious about that.
Yeah, that's literally how I found it.
Like, what was it? Like when I went to Statfest and everything, and I like took videos and everything, people were like, "Oh, I didn't hear of it. Like, where was this?" I'm like, "What do you mean? It was like everywhere." Like,
seriously, we put a lot behind doing all that social media, but glad to know that was proof that it worked out. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you said that you were at the label that was trying to change your sound. How'd you deal with that in like a professional manner, or did you not? And were you like a little angry with it?
At first I was kind of like the first time they tried to like change my genre, and I was kind of just like, what the heck did I get myself into? Like, this is not what what I wanted. And they basically had like, it was so long ago, so I can talk about it now. They had like sat me down, and they had they just had a lot of money. They had like tons of things. We would go out to dinners. They would drop $1,000, $2,000 on dinners. They'd be flying me out, having me stay at these like gorgeous hotels. So it was just like such like monetary pressure on me, and it was like, if you do this, this, and this, and that, and basically like almost like sell your soul in a way. I don't know how else to say it.
Right.
Then your dreams will come true. And at the end of the day, that's not true, because I was losing my genuine self and losing who I was, because I was basically like selling the one thing that like I live for, just for some money and some fame. And honestly, like it wasn't worth it. And it got to the point where like I started really standing up for myself, and I was like telling the songwriter, I was like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, this is not what I want to sing. I want to do music that represents me,
right,
not somebody that I'm not. And so it got, sometimes it was pretty intense when I would, say how I feel. Because I'm the kind of person, like, I will say it how it is. Like, if I don't like something, I'm like, I don't like this. And so it would get pretty bad, but I think it was for the best that I had left that label. But it sucks, because I know there's a ton of kids, especially rappers these days, who get pushed into that so young, because they're shown all this money and cars and all this stuff, and just do whatever we tell you, and you're gonna have all this, and at the end of the day, it's not doesn't make you happy. So
right.
Honestly,
and that's all you see. I mean, you see that all the time. You look at even current rappers now that have some of the biggest songs on the radio, and then they go on an interview and talk about how they're broke.
Yeah. Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you also see a lot of success. No, sorry. I was going to say, you see a lot of success with those independent rappers now, too. I mean, that's something that even, like, say, 15 years ago wasn't a thing. Even 10 years ago, really, maybe started being a thing, where people started self-producing and publishing their own music. But that's, like, seems to be a big game lately, where people are just, like that dude Russ, he still puts everything out independently. He just made, like, a few million in his streams, putting everything up by himself. Like,
Yeah, and at the end of
Crazy.
the day, I feel like the artist knows best for their music specifically. No matter how big this songwriter is, like it's not gonna be as genuine as an artist writing
Right.
their own lyrics and the song coming from their heart rather than like from someone else's money ideas. I don't know how else to put it.
Right. So you write everything yourself?
For the most part, I definitely when I do my songs now, I co-write with my boyfriend because he's my producer right now. But I have worked with other producers, but for the most part, my songs are written by myself. Like I said, beats that's different.
Right.
But like lyric wise, that's all me. Yeah.
Cool. So where do you find the inspiration for everything you write? I mean, everyone has like a few stories they can write about, but how do you find that you can just keep pushing out
Like, what's
content?
your inspiration?
Yeah.
Kind of. All that.
I mainly write about experiences that I've had in the past. There is a couple songs that I've created a story in my mind for that like have no connection to me.
Right.
But for the most part, it's just experiences I've been through, experiences that close friends of mine have been through. Yeah, that's
Cool.
much it.
Very cool. Veronika, I interrupted you before, so sorry about that. If you have anything,
No, it's I was just being like, oh my god, you're so cool, wow. So, like, no, I mean, like, I think I like. There's a lot of like especially more like local bands. They like some like a big label or something like kind of like snatches them up. Or like they gives them this kind of like promises of like fame and like all this stuff. And the fact that you're able to kind of like see through all of that, pardon my French, bullshit is like it's awesome. And you're like, hey, no, stop that. I want to do this for me. Like this is like I don't want another like big label to like change me. So like it's really like it's great. It's awesome. So
yeah, I fell for it at first. Like don't get me wrong, I was like so ready to like just blow up and do whatever they wanted me to. But after a while, I was just like fuck this. I don't know if I can curse on here, but
no, yeah, it's alright. Cursing is fine. Don't worry.
Cursing is fine. Yeah, like it's cool. It's awesome. So like it's just really nice that like they're just like a very strong like kind of presence in Long Island that's like no like screw this. I want to like this is like like I'm doing this for me. Like this is my identity. So it's awesome.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel? You fit within the Long Island scene. Like, do you have any collaborations with anyone on the island or anyone that you're like maybe hoping to work with?
Yeah, I work a lot with obviously my boyfriend. He just moved here from Atlanta, so I don't know if that's considered Long Island scene. I work with the artist Lex Haley. She's a like R&B pop artist. She's also my best friend.
Cool.
And so I do a lot of songwriting with her, and it's really easy to write for her because she tells me everything. We're like texting all day, so I know all the boy drama and stuff like that. So it's easy for me to just throw out songs for her. Regarding to other artists, I haven't really worked with anybody in a while from Long Island. I just kind of like watch what everyone's doing, give them like a little like on Instagram, and
stay engaged.
Call it a day.
Yeah, stay in touch with everybody.
That's
all you gotta do.
Any like dream collaborations or like who would you love to like collab like local, not local, or whatever? Do you have any like dream kind of like people you would love to work with or?
I'm trying to think. I think it would be cool. I don't know if you know Billie Eilish's producer. It's her brother.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool if I could do a song with him. Probably Billie Eilish too. That would be dope. I would love to collab with Post Malone in the future.
That would be so
I just think his music is awesome. As for local artists, probably be cool to do a collab with can't speak. Leah Raquel. Oh my god, I can't say it. She's literally on my label, and my voice is just like not working. I think it'd be cool because she does R&B type of stuff, and I just love her voice. So I think that'd be dope.
Very cool. And I know some label people that definitely want to collab with you, so you even got more things to look forward to.
Okay.
I won't say them now, but
I-
I found that out the other day.
Who
So
is this?
I'm interested. I'm like, who?
we can talk about that after. I'll tell you who it was.
All right.
So how have you you were saying like right now it's kind of tough with everything with the label. Now that we're in quarantine, everyone's at home. How have you maintained following a music career during all this, where really like we can barely leave our houses?
Yeah. It was weird. At first, it really like killed my career. Like when this was like first happening. I actually had South by Southwest booked.
Cool.
And I had a couple other shows like booked for like the first like half of March. I had all of that booked, and South by Southwest got booked, and then got canceled, booked, and that would be. South by Southwest got canceled, then my next show got canceled, then another show got canceled, and it was just like blowing my mind that like something that like unbelievable, like literally a worldwide virus, like was the reason like I couldn't play like a show that I wanted to play since I was young.
Yeah.
So it kind of like threw me like into like just confusion. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And it kind of just like it didn't set me back, but it set me back a lot with songwriting, because I need to be inspired like when I'm writing. And I just felt so uninspired staying at home all day, having to go out and wear like a mask, and it just was like depressing. Like it wasn't anything I ever expected, and I was just so in shock. I think for literally like a month and a half that I couldn't write, I couldn't produce music. Like me and my boyfriend, we literally sat in the house for like an entire month, just feeling like completely lost. Like he could write either.
What do we do?
Yeah, and then after a while we got like used to things. We set a goal to redo my whole entire room, which we did, and it looks freaking awesome. I'll show you guys like a little bit of it. But,
That's so cool.
yeah, it's cool. Like with the Louis thing, we just got a new chair. So I'm like showing it's like my MTV crib.
Hi, I'm Jules and welcome to my crib.
But so we did that, and that kind of like lifted up everything that we were feeling. And out of nowhere, like the past couple weeks, I just got like total motivation to start writing. I don't know if it was like the weather or we started taking like trips to like the beach and just like, you know, looking at the water and stuff, and just doing anything we could to feel motivated again. And we've been on like a really strong like writing spree, and we're just writing more and more music. I don't want to release anything right now because I know that like the industry is really saturated for writing at this time. But I think in like a couple months, like when everything slows down a little bit, I'm definitely ready to just release all these songs that I've been working on, and then hopefully like when we can do shows again, I just want to like kill it with the shows and just try to prepare now for the future.
Right.
That's
Now,
cool.
are you doing any like live streams? I know you did the Staffest Stay at Home one, but are you doing any other live streams during this, or are you kind of past all that at this point?
Every once in a while, I'll. Oh wait, what was that? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Oh no, I was gonna say like, are you just like laying low and waiting to like do like a big reveal and like all that? No.
I've just been doing like some Instagram live streams just randomly when I'm recording. People seem to really like that. I don't know like why. Like they're just listening to me like sing with headphones on. But that I've been doing that a lot, and yeah, just kind of hanging low and just planning for the future. I've been doing a lot of TikToks, so because I have all the free time.
I was gonna say it seems like you're blowing up on TikTok a little bit.
Yeah, it's
just like I'm kind of a big deal, you know.
Like, yes, ask me about TikTok.
Oh my god,
I freaking love TikTok.
I was a little against TikTok for a little bit, and then like I saw like I don't know how they found it, but like I guess like the algorithm just like was able to like pinpoint my personality to a T, and just like has been like recommending me videos like as fuck. And it's like,
yeah, they like their algorithm is crazy. Like it just like your For You page is just like directed for you, literally. Like I'll spend like hours on TikTok. It's so bad.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like as soon as I'm done with Facebook, I'm done with Twitter, I'm done with whatever. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna watch like TikTok for like 6 hours and like see where that takes me. So
Yeah,
it's
addicting.
So
it's like
no,
yeah,
go ahead, Veronika. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say have you like enjoyed like just like doing stuff on TikTok? Like I've seen some of your videos on TikTok where it's like there's like sketches. Yeah, sorry, I'm like didn't mean to call you
no,
out.
You're good.
No, but like you mix like it's me, yeah. So like you mix like sketches and you mix like covers and like just like some music, like what are they called? Like tutorials and everything. Like, have you like enjoyed just like using that platform to kind of like push your music and all that? Or
yeah, it's weird because a lot of like my stupid and dumb TikToks are the one that blows up, which is really annoying. But it's like anytime I post like anything about my music, like it gets like less views. I'm like, what the heck? But I'm like slowly trying to incorporate like my music into there. I already like somehow like branded myself as like an idiot on there who just makes like dumb TikToks, which is annoying because I have to figure out how to unbrand that. But it's also, I think it's like good too because then it shows some of my my followers who know me specifically for music, like that I also have like a dumb personality side to myself.
love it.
So it's like I gotta find that balance of like promoting my music on there and then like being an idiot. So
Right.
Being
So you're kind of like killing it in the social media game in general. I feel like TikTok you're doing well. Instagram you have a very strong following. What
Thank
do
you.
you think is
Thanks.
like the key to social media success? Because you seem to like harness it pretty well.
I don't the key. It's like I don't even know the key. I think just
I'm
making
just
sure
really
that
good and talented. Like you know?
No, it's like literally like I don't even know like what it is like that helps people. But I think the best thing to do is just like post good content and like make sure that if you're gonna post a photo that it's nice lighting and it's good quality photo. Try not to post anything in bad quality lighting. Keep people engaged. Kind of like develop your brand. That's a big thing too. I'm like I was just saying 2 seconds ago. I don't know, but like now I'm getting it out of me. I'm like branding is very important. Like figure out your style and what makes you unique. That people will keep coming back to you. And I think it's like I try to keep like the colors pink, purples, and blues in my TikTok, not my TikTok feed, my Instagram feed, and it kind of just makes everything look aesthetic. So like when people go on my page, they're not like, oh my god, like this is everywhere. Like they kind of just everything's like organized, and then people will start to like look at it a little bit more.
Right.
I think just like stuff like that, like little details here and there, and then keeping people engaged. That's a big thing. That goes with like branding, like making sure your personality is like always there.
I've also found the consistency, like really like obviously with like you were saying the colors and everything, but even like time of day that you post and things like that, I found are so important because people like you're saying you build the brand, so people have an expectation. Then like if you're posting at noon every day or every other day, people are now start to look for that, and then when you deviate from that, I feel like we've done it within after hours like ourselves where like we'll usually post the review at noon, but there have been days where like so I'm a teacher by day, so there's days where I'm at work or something and it just doesn't work that well. And it totally changes the way the amount it's viewed, or just from that few hour difference. Do you find that too? Like, do you follow a somewhat strict schedule when you post?
A little bit. I try to keep it. My Instagram posts either post around like 10 in the morning or like 4 or 5 at night. So like especially now at quarantine, people are waking up at like 8, 9, 10 because most people aren't in work right now. So then the first thing they do is they check their phones, see a post around 10 o'clock or like right before dinner time, or they're coming back from work, people who are working. I'll try to post a post around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So those are like my 2 times that I really post. Same goes for all my other social medias too. Try to keep it the same.
Cool. All right, I like that. So what have you found do you have one that you think is the most successful out of any of them, or one that you think for musicians specifically is better than another?
What are you talking about?
Just like in social media, do you find that there's one platform that, especially for musicians, that really is beneficial compared to another?
Right now, I would say TikTok is very beneficial to musicians because there are big like TikTokers who do like the renegade and the dances and stuff on there, and then they dance to music. And there have been songs that have blown up specifically because of TikTok. So I think that there are a bunch of artists on there who will just make a post and be like, "This is my new song. Like, if you like it, make a dance to it." And some of them have blown up that way. So I think if you're an artist, just get on TikTok, even if it's just making videos or anything. Just get your name out there, get your brand out there, because I do find that even though some of my videos, like my singing videos and music videos on TikTok, haven't blown up as much as my other videos, people will go and they'll click the Instagram link and then they'll follow me on there, and then they'll find out from there that I do music, and it has helped my streams a lot. So it's just another platform that's like brand new. It's got a bunch of new young kids like on there, and it's just a chance, it's just a chance to do something with it. It's like popping right now. Like just use it.
Yeah, I get TikTok videos sent to me like on a daily basis. So that's it's interesting. I like that you're like showing how much you really care about it. Like you could tell that like you're not just saying that like for some clout or like to try to like get more people.
TikTok.
You can tell.
I've been on TikTok for like over a year now.
Really? See, that's funny. I feel like it's just really blown up in the past like 6 months.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna blow up, so that's why I broke glass.
Guess you'll have to just drink out of the bottle.
You heard it here first, folks.
That wasn't even the wine. That was just a cup of water. I'm gonna have to clean that up later.
It's not just me that has like 5 different cups of water that's like on their desk. It's like I'm gonna finish these one day. It's fine.
Oh my god! I'm like, of course I would do that on a live. That's so me.
Oh, that's all right.
Love that.
I'm gonna snip that like part of the video, just like.
Oh my god!
It's gonna blow up.
My boyfriend's literally over there like shaking his head at me. He's like,
"So this is like normal activity. This isn't even like phasing me. This is normal."
You're like, you know what? Like I expected this 100%. It's like 8:05. Okay, glass breaks.
I would have been more surprised if it didn't.
I'm dead. Oh my god, I just
So I have a question for you. So you are you're licensed in like teaching vocals and everything, or whatever that is called. I don't know the proper term for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you have so I was wondering, do you have any kind of tips for kind of vocalists and like in bands or like just individual artists? Any vocalists, new or old, what do you feel they can implement, like whether they're new or old, kind of what you like any tips that they should implement?
I would say to do your warm-ups. You want to make sure that your voice is warmed up before you go to sing anything at a rehearsal, at a show. Just go on YouTube, look up vocal warm-up for bass, tenor, soprano, alto, and just do your warm-ups, because that's the main thing that's going to make your voice sound better, because it's going to sound warmed up, obviously. And then it's also going to protect your voice so you don't go right into belting a crazy high song and then potentially damage your voice. So I would say that's probably the most important thing.
Awesome. Yeah, it's like it's not every day that we get like a vocalist that's like that's also kind of like licensed in teaching that. So it's really cool. Like, and like obviously everyone can kind of like learn something new. So that's cool to like be able to learn or something like that.
Yeah.
And like warm-ups especially, I think is like very important too.
Yes.
Like, not everyone like implements that. They just kind of go right into it. They're like, oh, like where's my voice for the next day? And you're like, wow.
Yeah, and I used to not warm up before I was teaching. I just would go right into singing, and I actually figured out when I was a teacher, and I would be teaching 5 or 6 students a day after warming them all up, that my voice felt great, and I was like, wow, why is this happening? Oh, because warm-ups. And so for now on, anytime I sing, have a performance, rehearsals, studio time, anything, I just do my warm-ups and get set up to sing.
How long do you kind of recommend? Like I don't know. Like, I'm sure there are YouTube tutorials that are kind of saying like, oh, go through this whole exercise, or I don't know. Do you have like a recommendation for like a minimum or something?
I would say between 5 to 10 minutes at most, and then if you have a show, and it's later at night, I would say maybe do a warm-up like session 5 minutes in the morning, warm-up session in the afternoon, and one right before the show, just to get your voice warmed up all day. But yeah, it doesn't have to be crazy long. It doesn't have to be anything wild. Just simple warm-ups. Take 5 minutes.
And it's nothing like crazy, like, oh, do a backflip before your show. You know, it's like, it's like something like someone can like implement like right before they do something. So great advice. You heard it here first. Great advice. All that stuff. All right. So you released Goodbye recently with Live Mic.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us about it? Like, do you have any what was the inspiration behind it, the meaning and everything? Because I know like the video is very powerful, and one of my favorite videos by far. So I think the content and then like the music kind of like just ties it all in together, like the video and all of that kind of ties it all in. But like definitely curious about the inspiration and like the meaning behind it and kind of what pushed you to release that.
Yeah, so Goodbye, I had written literally a week or two after I came back from tour. So that was all the way at the end of October. I had just take it back a year before. I had just gotten out of a 3-year relationship, and then right after that, I got into another relationship, and both those relationships were just train wrecks, in other words. And then I think after that, in between that time from like May to right before October, so that was that like May, June, July, August, September, October. It was like 5-6 months there. I was just kind of floating around, not really, knowing what I was gonna do in the future with a relationship or anything. So I was just pretty lost. And so during the time of October, I had gotten into a situation, not a relationship, but just like a situation that ended really, really badly. And it was kind of just my breaking point because I had felt so lost for so long, and I was just like, I'm going to say goodbye to any bad habits that I've picked up from my past relationships, any bad habits, that they had and put on me. I'm going to let that go in the past, anything bad that happened. I'm just going to say goodbye to that aspect of my life. And it was also right when I got back from tour, and the tour was, I had said it before, it was every single day we went to a new high school, and it was the music festival at the high schools. So after my set, kids would come up to me, take pictures with me. I'd have like a line of kids taking pictures of me, and every once in a while I'd get a kid like asking me, like, I want to be a singer, like what can I do to get there, or I'm having this issue with this person, like could you give me some like older person advice? And it's just like I don't even know what I'm doing myself. I'm just like trying to get by the best I can. So that's when the second verse comes in, and it's being like, I have these kids at my shows asking me all these things, and it's like, I want to tell them that I have the answers, but at the end of the day, like, it's like, I don't. I need to figure myself out, too. So that's another thing. So it was just basically like closing a chapter and being like, I'm going to do better for myself in the future, which I 100% did. Like, life got so much better. Literally, like, right after I wrote that song is when I met Blake, and then, I got with Live Mic Records, and I just feel like I'm in a better place mentally. Although the tour was really fun, and, I met a lot of great people, and it was a good time in my life. Like, that chapter closed, and I'm ready to move on to bigger and better things. So goodbye to that, and on to the new times.
Yeah. So we'll be expecting a hello single in 2 months. So
that should be really cool. Like,
that would
like,
be a cool idea.
So hello. so goodbye.
Hello, I signed up with Live Mic Records. No.
I think we should make that happen. We can make it a freestyle at Statfest. You can just jump on it, just freestyle it one day.
Like, hey. Oh my god, it's great. That's amazing. Awesome.
So you've been talking about this high school festival. You've gone from like really small venues to festivals. What's been your most memorable show that you've played?
Specifically, this one show is actually a show that Mike came to with High School Nation. And it was the Hempstead show. So it was the only show that took place in Long Island. And that whole tour really changed my life. And it kind of made me feel like I really could make it as an artist, seeing how all the kids reacted to my music. Like, when I got on stage, a majority of them didn't even know who I was, and they would be moshing in the crowd, like, just going crazy for me. And I'm like, you guys don't even know who I am. So, like, it was so dope. And I remember it was the last song I had sang at that set, and I changed up the set list for that show because not only was Mike there, but my parents were there too for that show. And so, I had a huge crowd of kids because there was a whole entire high school there. And it was the last song, and I had like said a bunch of stuff. Like, I was like, I just want to like say this is my first tour. I'm so thankful that I've had this opportunity, and I dedicated the last song to my mom, and I had all the other artists like come up on stage with me to like dance to the song, and the song was "Hey Look Ma, I Made It." So I literally was like bawling my eyes out, crying on stage. Everyone was like dancing on stage around me, and like kids were going nuts. It was like one of those moments that I'll just never ever forget for like the rest of my life. It was probably my favorite show ever, and probably ever will be, just because it was like that moment that I've been waiting for since I was young, that I really felt like, you know what, maybe like this has been worthwhile and I should keep going with it.
Cool.
You come in with the Panic at the Disco song. I'm like, cry.
Yeah, oh my god, that song is, I just love that song.
That entire album is like, that, like, it's definitely a different style of like Panic at the Disco, but it's still just like
oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Especially like I read a little bit into it of like where it kind of came from, and it was essentially when Brendan Urie, the lead singer, was like kind of like doing his own thing. He kind of like took a break from Panic at the Disco, and then like he came back and like wrote everything, and then all like the emotional stuff with it. I'm just kind of like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So it's like Hey Look Ma, I Made It is very like fitting, especially with that moment. So it's like,
yeah,
like I almost cried. So, like,
well, I was curious. So you said like that was your favorite show. What is the one show, or maybe not the one show, but if there is a show that's like on your bucket list, like is there a place that you've like always dreamed of playing, or anything, or maybe a country, or
like a dream tour, or
maybe a dream tour, any of that?
When I was younger, I always wanted to play on Warped Tour. I mean, I don't know if that's possible now.
So I don't know if you saw, someone tweeted at Kevin Lyman a couple of weeks ago and said like, after all this is done, you should bring back Warped Tour, and he kind of led to that they will.
They made the little eyeball emoji,
but with
like
a different name.
Emoji, like.
Yeah, they said that, but it's going to be called something different. So.
I mean, if
you could still get your
chance. Mike wants to get working on that. That would be nice.
Mike, you know you're listening.
That'd be real heckin' nice to do that.
Yeah, it'd probably be that. Or like, I don't know, Madison Square Garden would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna limit myself.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go all the way.
Seriously, you have to shoot for the most.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, because then you're gonna settle for. I feel like when you don't shoot for like the highest you could be, then you end up settling. Which like you should always be proud and excited, but you should always be looking for more. So I feel like shoot for the stars. I love that. It's much more realistic than a lot of the pop art. I believe you have a better shot at doing that than half the pop artists out now, or you should be there and not have those pop artists now.
Thanks.
Because fuck everything on the radio now. It's all awful.
God, I haven't listened to the radio in so long because I haven't been in my car in so long.
This might not. I know you said like Billie Eilish or like Post you would love to play with, but is there like a tour? Like, is there like Is there somebody that you've always like been like, yo, I could fit perfectly with that person and go on tour with them no matter what? Or is it just Billie Eilish and Post Malone?
I think I could go on tour with maybe like Melanie Martinez, Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
Even Jessie Reyes. My music actually works really well with rappers too, which is interesting. So anytime I've played a rap show, my music has done pretty good. So any rappers, which is interesting how that works. But it does, and I played a couple rap shows.
Is that something you ever saw yourself doing prior to getting into music? Like playing rap shows?
No. But anytime I played, I played like a while back. I was playing a lot of house shows where it'd be a bunch of rappers performing and then me, and I would go up there and they'd all be like vibing with me, all these like that group of people, and I would just be like, what is going on? And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome. I love that when you can just fit into everything. I also think that's like a huge thing. I don't know if you did any house parties around the island, but I just feel like Long Island is such an inclusive place when it comes to music. At least for the most part, I've seen. No one really seems to like. I mean, of course, there's competition, but it's more like friendly competition. Like everyone, it's all love between everybody. Like everyone seems kind of more family than anything else.
Yeah,
So, like,
I've definitely. I mean, not lie. There's been some people that they keep their eye on you for not good reasons, but
right.
For the most part, like 99% of artists out here have been like super supportive of each other and just kind, no matter like what their genre is. And I really like that especially with like specifically live like music, all the other artists have been so nice and so supportive and just really cool in general.
Oh yeah, and I can't wait to see what your collaboration with some of these artists are going to be. I can't wait to tell you who they are after.
All right, so I wanted to play Would You Rather, aka this or that, or whatever. So I have a couple of different kind of Would You Rather do this or that. And then if you want to like explain why, that's cool. But yeah, I have a couple questions, just like a little random, a little deep, a little whatever. So I got them here.
Okay, cool.
All right, so first one to start off. Would you rather be 3'9" or 9'3"?
Oh my gosh. 9'3", because I feel like I could get a really interesting career in like modeling or something. I don't know, like
9.
Yeah, I said the same thing. So
and then I could
9'3". I can like reach so many things.
I can reach so many things, and like if I need to reach something like on the ground, I can too. Because like if I was short, like I could only reach like lower. But like if I'm tall, I can reach both. So
yeah, I feel like there's way more opportunities to be tall than short. But
yeah,
not to hate on short people, but like yeah. All right, next one.
I also, by the way, I would also go 9'3" because that would be just really interesting. I would be like real big of like looking down at people like this and look like a real asshole. Like, I'd be all about that.
Exactly. All right, so next one. Would you rather work for someone who always gets angry or someone who you always get angry at?
Someone who I always get angry at, because I have worked for somebody who's always angry and I don't like it.
Yeah, like for me, like I'm passive aggressive, so I'm just like I don't show it like very like vocally or like outward. I'm just kind of like, okay. So, yeah. What about you, Dan? Do you have,
probably someone I would always get angry at, because like it could be a really nice boss who's just like dumb and you just get angry because they're dumb. So I'll go with that one.
Amazing. All right. Next one. Would you rather smell numbers or taste colors? Like, I know there are some people who like have that ability already. So if you have it already, then we can skip this question. But
I would taste colors. That sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I don't even think I would. I don't even really think I totally understand the smelling numbers, unless it's like smelling money.
You're like, I made 2,000 this week.
Right? Like if it was that, then sure, I'd go taste colors too.
Exactly. All right. So next one. Would you rather be a master of every musical instrument or be fluent in every language?
Master of every instrument. That was easy.
I'm going every language. If I could write in every language, you know how much reach we can get? If I could just start writing reviews in every damn language. All right, I'm going
Like,
language.
you
Hell
get
yeah.
so many followers.
I can't even master one musical instrument. Why am I going to bother with all of them?
Fair. That's true. True. All right, next one. Would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Too hot. I don't like cold.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
I can't. Oh my god.
Because like other people have asked this, they're like, "Oh, I'd rather be too cold." I'm like, "Are you crazy?"
People think I'm nuts. I literally like turn the heat on in the summer. I don't know what's wrong with me, but like, Blake hates me for it. He knows I do it. Like, I love like the warm, like a nice warm room. Like,
No, you like hellaciously hot.
You heard it here first.
I just like to roast. I'm like,
I'm on Blake's side. I would rather be too cold than too hot.
Oh my! I like people give like the reasoning like, oh, like you could put on more layers, but you can't like take off any layers. I'm like, I hate being cold. I don't like it. No.
yes, bro. I hate being cold too. I can't.
God damn
Just
it.
like it's such an uncomfortable feeling. Sorry, Dan. Don't mean to like alienate you. Like,
I really think it's like just a difference between like men and women. Like I feel like if you ask like 9 out of 10 women are gonna say they'd rather be too hot, where 9 out of 10 men will say they're too cold. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm looking at comments now, and other people are saying cold.
What? Whoever's saying cold, you got some temperature issues going on.
I'm not crazy. I'm telling you, my ex-girlfriend used to love everything.
But would you rather like sit in like the freezing cold ocean or like sit on the nice warm sand? Like
The freezing cold ocean.
unless
Unless I was like, unless like we were like drinking on the nice warm sand, then you could deal with anything.
That's wild. Oh my god. You won't ever catch me in the freezing cold ocean.
all right. Okay. So next one. Let's see. Would you rather have hands that kept growing as you got older, or feet that kept growing as you got older? Sorry.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. No. Well, I don't think I would want my feet to grow because then I have to keep buying like new shoes.
That's true.
So
And not a big need for gloves. So.
But then like how would I play like piano? I don't know.
You just have to sit back farther from the
Yeah, I guess I'll just have like my piano will be here and I'll be all the way back here with my long ass hands and just being like that and keeping my nice shoes. So I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Just every year you gotta get like a few inches further from the piano. Just keep
Oh my
stretching.
god, holding
Just
Blake's
the
hand.
fingers.
His hand would be like this small, and my big hand would be like.
It'd be like holding a baby.
Exactly. All right, next one. Would you rather be locked in a room that was constantly dark for a week, or a room that was constantly bright for a week?
These are getting
That's not
harder.
like,
Dude, Veronika,
what's
you
it
came up
called?
with some good
because like you're a dark pop vocalist or anything. That's just like light preference.
I think it would be like probably like a bright room because I feel like I don't know. Maybe like the vitamin D would like make me feel like a little bit like okay. Give me like a little serotonin, like I don't know, because I feel like if it's like completely dark, I'll be like sad.
All right, next one. This one I'm just like generally curious for the room for anyone in the chat. Would you rather spend the rest of your life being itchy or just having like goosebumps constantly?
Goosebumps, I think.
Goosebumps, absolutely.
Goosebumps.
I've had a sunburn for a week, and I've been scratching myself like I'm a drug addict. So like just because I'm so damn itchy. So I would much rather I'd rather go with the goosebumps. I hate being itchy.
Sure.
I hate it.
It's just like a weird feeling. You're like, ew.
Wait, I like the question before that. Would you rather sell all of your possessions or sell one of your organs?
So one of my organs.
Yeah, it depends which one. It's like, oh, I can be without a kidney, like I guess.
Oh my god. For my Louis bag. It's like I don't want to sell my Louis bag.
Exactly.
I'd probably go with selling my possessions, because if I'm selling my possessions, then I'm getting the money to buy them all back.
Oh, true. Oh my god, I'm stupid.
Dude, you're smart. Ooh.
I'm over here like selling my organs. Like,
You're like, I can make
Keep
so
on
much
moving.
money. Meanwhile, your like liver is like only like I don't know $1,000 or however much it is. So.
Right. Yeah, you have to really sell some vital organs to make some money.
Exactly.
All my black market.
Exactly. All right. So next one. Would you rather always be 20 minutes late for an important event, or always be 2 hours early for like everything else, not necessarily important or not?
I think 2 hours early.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh no, you're gonna say 20 minutes late.
I'm already 20 minutes late to everything as it is. As with tonight, we were like 45 minutes late. So
Fair.
I'll just
No,
I'm
I don't know.
already
It's like
that.
it's such a pet peeve of mine to be like late to things. I'm just like I need to be like ready. So, I don't know. That's just me. Like if I'm like even a minute late, like not because like I know like with the after hours we always start like whatever minute late, but like I like it's such a pet peeve of mine. So I'm just like no, I can't. I'd rather just like show up to the venue like there's no one there.
One of my friends just commented, "Dan is always late. I am always late." So see, people. If I went with early, people will lose their expectation of me. I don't want that to happen.
Oh yeah, they'd be like, oh wait, hello, we missed it already. Goodness. All right. So last question, which is I guess is very pertaining to quarantine and all that, but. Would you rather lose all of the money you've earned this year or lose all of the memories you've gained this year?
You say money, I'm gonna be so pissed.
No. Oh my god. I was like thinking about the money I made and I was like, it's really not that much. So definitely memories. Oh wait, like no, keep the memories. Keep the memories. I don't know. I didn't mean to say lose them.
Yeah. All right.
I would probably have to go with lose the memories as well. Not because I didn't have good memories, but like, I need money. I'm gonna be realistic on that one.
It's like I'm really not making as much as I was last year, so I'm good with losing the money.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I do. I don't know. I think I'd keep the memories. I don't know, cause like I don't know. Yeah, it's just. No comments. It's just like how it's gonna be.
I'm laughing at the response money because I'm broke. I'm looking in the chat.
Yeah, I didn't want to say because I'm broke, but also like low key I'm broke. So like
right, like wouldn't be that much.
Yeah, and then like I don't know, all of like my like would be memories of like different like events and stuff like have been like postponed. So I'm like I can wait like 6 more months. That's fine. So.
See, okay, I didn't really think about that. I run on teacher time, so when people say like of the year, I think of the school year. So I think September to June, and I never think of the actual year. But you're right, there's been nothing in 2020, so yeah, I'll lose the money.
Well, I think that's all of my questions for this or that. Would you rather? Very, very intimate, very tell all.
Oh, those are some good questions. I like that. Bravo for that. I like some of those.
I tried to be like very specific and very random, so hopefully they were.
It's cool, yeah, it's cool.
So we've been ending each interview, Jules, with asking everyone, which it's like a generic question that you usually get, but like if you were, so a lot of people that we have a following, I'm not sure how much you've really looked through us, but we have a following of kind of all types of music, where it's reggae rock to like hardcore music to rap to like some emo things. So what is it that you would tell our viewers to convince them to listen to you? I know that's a tough question and it's hard to be put on the spot with that, but like if they like, so let's say it's somebody who's like a hardcore kid and never really listened to anything else. Like what would be the way you would convince someone new to just give it a chance?
Yeah, or like dark pop. What is that kind of? You know, like an elevator pitch kind of.
I don't know. I think my best pitch is to just give it a chance, see how you feel about it yourself. I used to be a metal vocalist, so I don't know if anyone who listens to metal here, if that intrigues you guys, definitely check out my music, see how I've transformed over the years.
That intrigues me.
Yeah.
Where can we hear your metal things? That intrigues me. Is that available anywhere, or is that something that you've just kind of moved? Was that part of the goodbye? Is that gone now?
Oh god, that was from when I was like in high school. If you really want to stalk me, and look for it. It probably isn't too hard to find through my Facebook, but there is some stuff still on Spotify. It's not my favorite, but it's there. Oh, it was a while ago, but yeah, if you wanna go find that, go ahead. But be sure to check out my music now first.
Yeah, not the high school stuff. Sorry, I interrupted your whole speech.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm like
that just
joking.
Surprised me a little bit. I'm surprised that you. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because I feel like you can fit that pretty well, but metal.
The dark pop is metal.
Seriously, would have never guessed. All right, sorry, I interrupted. I'll shut up now.
No, you're good. You're good. You're totally good.
So before we go, like I want you to get the chance to plug yourself, plug what social medias, websites, anything of that nature, then where people can check you out.
Yeah, so you can find all of my stuff under Jules Walcott, which is spelled JULESWALCOTT. I'm on, obviously, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. I'm on all of those. Definitely stay tuned. Follow me. I use Instagram the most, and TikTok now. So follow me on those if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, and I'll have some new music on the way very soon.
Cool, exciting. Well, Jules, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This has been like one of my favorite interviews. This is awesome.
Oh, that's exciting to hear. That's 2 weeks in a row we've heard that. So either people are really nice or we're fun. But thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
Bye.